And we are live. Hello, everyone. Lynette, hi. So is it just me and you today? Which is fine. This is a get ready with me with the Booktube Goddess. And I'll be putting on makeup to do some filming today. And we'll talk about books and whatever. So I hope you are doing well, Lynette. Oh gosh, I always look so crazy when I start. Probably looks crazy when I stop, but we won't go there. And of course, it is Cappuccino. Hey, Cappuccino, and Blue Black. Hey, guys. Okay, so I decided to do pink eyebrows. If I'm going to draw my own eyebrows, why not go crazy? Oh my gosh. So I was thinking maybe like doing two contrasting colors, and it might be because of my background here, but I was thinking about pink and orange. Fun with color, yeah. But let me lay down some white. Remember to use this mirror. So I don't know, are you guys Grisha verse fans with the Le Bardugo? Ooh, that's thick. Because Netflix has just released their first Grishaverse series, Shadow and Bone. And I haven't watched it all. I just saw a couple of the episodes. Blue Black has not read any Le Bardugo, and neither has Cappuccino. The only ones I've read is the Six of Crows series, which I did enjoy. It is a heist. I guess I'd call it young adult high fantasy. And I did like, I have to be honest with you, I'm not really sure why Le Bardugo is as popular as she is. And I know that the Six of Crows series is not the first books in her universe, but apparently Shadow and Bone is. However, they decided to use characters. I guess the Shadow and Bone Netflix series is just based upon or inspired by the Shadow and Bone series books, because apparently, well, not apparently, what they did do was they took the characters or some of the characters from Six of Crows, and there's a whole new storyline that they're interweaving into Shadow and Bone. So I was wondering, well, if this series is real good, the Netflix series, maybe I'll pick up the Shadow and Bone books. But I am enjoying the characters from Six of Crows, that new storyline that they created, a lot more than the main storyline with the woman or young lady who discovers she has Grisha powers, and Grisha are the name of the magic users in this world. So I don't know. And it could just be the actors. Hi, Kayla. I watched all the episodes for Shadow and Bone, and overall, I'm happy with this season. Yeah, I haven't finished it. I'm like 3 episodes in, something like that. And Lynette has not read them either. Kayla, have you read the books? Do you recommend the Shadow and Bone books? Because, like I said, I've only read Six of Crows. And in the Netflix series, it feels as though, just for me, that I like the characters of Kaz Brecker. He's the young criminal mastermind, and his sidekicks, Inez and, oh shoot, Justin? I forget the name of the sharpshooter. And the actor that plays Kaz reminds me of a really young Jack Nicholson. I don't know why. He just reminds me of a young Jack Nicholson. Kayla, oh, got that? I read them either. Okay. I am enjoying it so far. It's I don't know if the quality is of the cinematography is that great, because, and it could just be the quality of my TV or setup, but it kind of reminded me of sort of that like VHS tape um, quality that you sometimes see on in old programs. But that's probably just me. Because my understanding is it was a real big budget. Lori Romer, hi. Don't worry about being late. This always goes on way too long, and it's just me putting on makeup. Kayla, read Six of Crows, have not read Shadow and Bone trilogy because, from what I hear, they are very much like old school YA with a lot of tropes that I don't care for. Well, like I said, I'm halfway through the Netflix series, and you can kind of see some love triangles bubbling up. I didn't read many YA books. It's a TV series made for YA lovers. Well, here's the thing that I thought when I read Six of Crows. I thought the characters of Six of Crows read as though they were a lot older. I thought they were all in their 20s. But they're apparently still teenagers, and it didn't make sense for me in Six of Crows. That said, I assume that they were written as youngish characters, but I think, at least for Six of Crows, that it could have certainly been with just a few tweaks and rewrites. It could have been written as with the characters in their 20s, and you would have thought it was an adult book. I actually don't care much for the YA category because it's not a genre. YA is not a genre. It's just a marketing strategy that publishers have carved out because I guess certain readers were being pulled as young teenagers. But when I was growing up, way back in the old days, there was no YA category. I read the children juvenile books and up through middle school, and then I just switched over to adult books. Whenever I say adult books, it sounds like I'm talking about X-rated books, adult books. But yeah, there was no middle ground between children's and adult. There was just, those were just the two categories, which I don't know, I kind of prefer. The show definitely is geared more towards adults. Oh yeah. So what I was going to say is that obviously, and they do this with when they make movies out of books all the time, they aged the characters up. Like Percy Jackson is supposed to be 12 years old, I believe, when the movie starts, or when the book starts, or the story starts. And the movie version, they made him like 15 years old, and then they threw in sort of a romance, because movies have to have romances for some reason. Anyway, I think the Netflix series is made for a general audience. I do not think it's made for like a Nickelodeon audience. Yep, I agree with Kayla there. Okay, so I was going to go pink orange because I did these lovely pink eyebrows. And if you like my background, I think I'm kind of thinking about that background. Orangey pink. Gosh, I don't know. Now I'm thinking maybe the pink would blend too much with the eyebrows. Maybe orange and blue, would that? I think I've tried that before. I think I did orange and purple. So maybe I'll try orange and, gosh, I don't know. Yes. I started reading adult books when I was about 11 or 12. Started with Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes. I think the first adult book I read, and it's probably, I want to say 10, but I think I was younger. I might have been like 8 or 9 years old. And it was because I really liked the cover of the book. It was a Mrs. Polifax mystery. And it's kind of, I guess they call them cozy mysteries now, kind of like an Agatha Christie-ish book. But it's about an older retired woman who decides that she wants to be a CIA spy and just does a cold call on the on the CIA agency. And if I didn't read the first book on my first Miss Polifax novel, or Mrs. Polifax, but she gets her start where they decide, well, we actually do need a courier just to go to Mexico and drop off some package to an agent. And she seemed like a good candidate for that. So that's how she got into being a CIA spy. And they made a movie in the 60s with Rosalind Russell. Which I don't think did very well, but it goes with orange anyway, like a contrasting color, not like sunset, orange, red, and yellow, which I've done before. started reading sci-fi. Yeah, I think that was when I was reading H.G. Wells too. And then I did read some Jules Verne, which I didn't like as much as H.G. Wells. I think I read some H. Rider Haggard. Well, I read one thing by H. Rider Haggard. That was She. But yeah, I loved H.G. Wells. Cappuccino, it was the same when I was a tween. Young adult was not a thing, transitioned into adult novels. Agatha Christie. I was never into Agatha Christie. Well, the thing is I pretty much just read which was on my father's shelf, and he wasn't a big Agatha Christie fan, but he was a big fan of Nero Wolfe, which I've read a few of those. And Nero Wolfe is sort of another one of those like Poirot, unexpected detectives, mystery detectives, because he was an extremely overweight man. And he was really quirky. He lived in a brownstone townhouse in New York. And he never left rarely left his apartment, which, as the main character or the main detective of a novel, seems like it would make kind of a boring story. But what the author, Rex Stout, did was everything was from the point of view of his assistant, Archie. And Archie was Nero Wolfe's legs. He called him the legs. And I think these are like mostly set in the 50s or 60s. But it was still back when the popular main character or detective is like a hard-boiled, who's that? Malone, Mickey Malone, or one of those hard-boiled detectives. But anyway, Archie was the one that went out and interviewed people and investigated and did all that and reported back to Nero Wolfe. And of course, Nero Wolfe, the genius he was, would solve the mysteries. Found sci-fi hard to read as a teenager, even difficult now. Well, it's not for everyone. I actually started as a teenager with science fiction. I mean, I read Lord of the Rings, but at that time there was very little fantasy out. This is like in the 70s. But there was a lot of science fiction. That was like science fiction. It's weird how things go up and down. But at that time, science fiction was really big. So there was like a lot of Heinlein, Asimov, Frederick Pohl, Larry Niven, all those science fiction authors back then. Cappuccino, big Stephen King phase in high school, Salem's Lot, Carrie Cujo, Christine, Pet Cemetery, The Shining. But not all, like some horror now, but not all the time. I was the same way. In between my science fiction reading, I did get into Stephen King. And especially back then, those early novels, the Cujos, the Christines, the Firestarters, Carrie, they were really good novels. And they weren't huge novels either. Christine, I don't know Naggio Marsh, don't know that. Don't know Jean Plady's historical novels. Yeah, that's funny how we kind of just pick up what our parents pick up. Mostly because that's what's on the bookshelves. My father was also a big fan of Travis McGee, which is, and his books were so Actually, I don't remember. I mean, I read a couple of them because there were so many on the shelves, but I think they were probably pretty sexist because all the covers have these half-clad women on them, and all the books had a color associated with them. Like I remember a tan and sandy silence, but all of them were some variation of some color scheme. I don't know what color to pick with this. I guess I'll just do pink. Who cares if it, I mean, I put down a lot of orange, so who cares if it blends a little bit with the eyebrows? Oh yeah, I forgot there was a TV series. It's only on like 1 or 2 seasons. Actually, there was a couple of TV series because way back when there was one with, I forget the name of the actor that played Cannon, but then there was a later one in the early 2000s, and I forget the actor. Was the guy that plays Archer was a name actor, I think. Charles Beaumont at the moment. Why is that name familiar? I mean, the name sounds familiar. Is he mostly known for short stories, science fiction? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, just the name does sound familiar to me. Okay, going in with pink. I thought I was going in with pink. Come on, pink. Can you see it? It's supposed to be pink into orange. There we go. Beaumont want 20. Oh, he wrote 20 episodes of The Twilight Zone, dozen of short stories, couple of novels. I'll have to look him up later. I mean, the name sounds familiar, but I could just be tripping. Ooh, at 34. Yipes. Died at 38. I didn't even know. Did he write the Twilight Zones as short stories? I didn't even know they did that. I know in Star Trek, the original series, they did, I want to say Ellen Jean Foster. Could be wrong. But he like wrote the short stories as, I mean, the episodes as short stories. They called them like the logs. Yeah, I like classic Twilight Zone. Yeah, way too young. I think I brought the white down too much. Well, how's that look? He was a friend of Bradbury, Ellison, Matheson. He would have been as big as him if he had not died. Wow. I guess he died in the 60s. Okay, I'm just going to take some black and start deepening around the crease. Oh, Cappuccino likes the colors. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. I'm reading now. Why did I pick it up? I think it was on the Hugo list. The middle grade novel. Because after I read the T.J. Klune book, House on the Cerulean Sea, which reminded me of, it was an adult book that was written in the style of middle grade. I kind of wanted to just pick up a middle grade. So I picked up Riverworld, I think it's called. Was not expecting what I got. I thought it was going to be some sort of portal fantasy, because that's what I remembered as the blurb that I had read. And it kind of is, but it's also a lot about domestic violence, which I wasn't expecting. I mean, I'm not laughing about the subject. It's just when your expectation of, oh, nice little middle grade portal fantasy, and then the subject's about a serious topic that I just wasn't prepared for. Okay, I may have done a little bit too much black. They say to go light on black because you can put more on, but you can't take it off. And that is true. Okay. Riverland, yes, thank you, Lynette. That's what I'm reading now, Riverland. 1955, he wrote a book called The Crocked Man, in which homosexuality was the norm. Heterosexuality was outlawed and babies were born in labs. Oh, how interesting. I want to read that one. Yeah, I wonder what the reaction was. 55 is pretty early. Giving it a try. The writing for Riverland, the writing is good. It's just, you need to be in a mood for a serious book. Like, for instance, Bridge to Terabithia. Is that what it was called? It's like, oh, a fun little fantasy, and it's sort of a darker, deeper subject. Only Playboy would publish it. I don't know about 1955, but I know later in the at least maybe 60s to 80s, getting published in Playboy was pretty prestigious. I mean, they did some literary works like Vonnegut and authors like that would get published. Frank Herbert in Playboy. They could not accept it even as alternative reality. Well, back then, Blue Black, homosexuality was not really acceptable. Whether as alternative history or not. But those kind of speculative storylines, like with homosexuality and that type of things, were much more common in like the 60s and 70s, I think, than they were in the 50s. Okay. Oh, the Crooked Man, not the Crocked Man. Actually, that name sounds familiar, the Crooked Man. I think I'll mention this before. If you want to read some authors of that time period, well, in the 60s, 70s time period, that did a lot of that sort of experimental storytelling. Dangerous Visions, a collection of short stories curated by Harlan Ellison. It's really interesting because it has some of the biggest names in science fiction at that time. Erica Lundcrease. Said if people could not accept heterosexual being treated like the couple in the story, how could they accept the way they treated homosexuality? Yep. Whew, I was holding my breath. Okay. In Philip Jose Farmer's books, the lovers, one of the others was an alien plant being, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know that one. Hey, Fit. I still haven't watched the movie and the woman who falls in love with the alien, Shape of Water, I think it's called. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's a good movie. Trying to think if I want to. No, I think I'm going to keep this white. So let me set it with white. Yeah, Shape of Water. Was that based on a book? I have no idea. Oops. Dropped my brush. Hold on. Okay. Just dropping everything. Shape of Water. Trying to think of what it reminded me of, but there's several books about love stories between different species. By the way, Fit, I did do your what was it, the bookshelf tag? I just don't know when I'm going to release it. I just do like to release 2 videos a week. And sort of behind on videos. Like this week, I just released the video on the Cruella trailer, simply because I've had it for several, gosh, maybe it's been like a month now, and I just was like, I don't know when this movie's coming out. I got to release this stupid video. And of course, I should have released it when it's close to when the trailer came out as possible, if I wanted to benefit from whatever hype was going on with that movie. But anyway, some tag videos that I film, I'll just keep in the can, just, you know, in case when I need it. Sure, if a plant had a gender. Now, some of you older guys may remember this, but there is a show called Quark, probably mid-70s, and it was a science fiction spoof. It got immediately canceled. I think they only aired like 6 episodes or something. But I thought it was hilarious. And they had this one joke. Like it was, of course, a spoof on Star Trek. And they had, the first officer was this weird alien guy who was kind of like logical. And I guess he was their chief scientist or something. And he was a plant man. He was like, he evolved from a plant. And I remember there was an episode where someone was trying to seduce him. This like very attractive, buxom woman was trying to seduce him. and decided they were going to have sex. And he goes, well, okay, if you really want to have sex with me. And he says, okay, first we both lie on our backs. So they laid on their backs. Then we lift our limbs. So they stick their hands and their legs in the air. And then we go, bee, 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 bee. And she goes, well, what are we doing? And he goes, well, we're waiting for the bee. It just cracked me up when I was young. 20 questions. I'm debating editing and using it, or if I should reshoot. That's always a question. It's rarely a question for me because I have to get all dressed up. So sometimes I probably should redo a video, but it's just such a pain in the butt. How good are you? I have mixed feelings about the whole Binti series by Okorafor. Gosh, I still haven't read anything by Okorafor. Third chapter. Loved Remote Control. Is Remote Control a standalone? Oh, have I? I haven't read it yet, but I did pick up a book from Shelve It or Shove It. Was it Shelve It or Shove It? Based in Africa. I wonder if that's that same author. Okay, anyway. Let's put on some black. Okay. Oops, let's move down. Yes, Remote Control is a standalone novella. Oh, it's a novella. African futurism, interesting. I wish there's more sci-fi set outside of Europe and the US. A lot of sci-fi is set out in space. So I did read, hold on. Was there, no, it couldn't have been Remote Control. Oh shoot, what was the name of that novel? It was a debut novel by a Cuban-American woman that drew on her culture, I guess, growing up, but it was set out in space. And it had cats on the cover. Hold on, let me look this up. Oh, War Girls. That's the African novel I was talking about, which I still need to read. Oh, The Chilling Effect, which was an okay novel. It wasn't like, it was a debut novel, so I think it was a solid debut novel. Oh shoot, where's my Inglot black? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. Look would be pretty rough without the black Inglot. Pre-Columbian Central America. Binti is mainly in space, but starts off in Africa. Yeah, I'm waiting on Black Sun until the sequel comes out. Exactly. The Lesson by Caldwell Turnbull, set in the Caribbean, a different take on alien invasion, very reflective and not action-based. The invasion is a metaphor for colonialism. Interesting. And The Lesson is standalone. Did you say who the author is? Caldwell Turnbull. Might have to check that out. Oh, you're the one that read the Coley books. Yeah, I remember passing on it because it's such a weird cover. Oh, did you see Jess Owen's latest book tea video about the author who dragged someone reviewing her on Twitter for giving her 4 stars on a book? And then she pretty much just like attacked her fans or attacked Twitter, and people turned on her big time. And they drove her Goodreads rating down to like 2 stars. And she shouldn't laugh, but that was an interesting reason why authors probably shouldn't get too salty on Twitter with discussions about their book. And it's funny because her book is apparently a collection of essays. And I was watching some, Steve Donahue who is an older booktuber who posts a lot. He might do like one video a day. But he did a PSA to authors about not responding to reviews. And he never mentioned anyone by name, but he goes, but even if you have, like, say, a slim volume of a collection of essays, and it's like, okay, I know who you're talking about. But it is kind of crazy to complain about a 4-star review. And of course, I'm also painting my eyelashes just to get the dust off them because I don't like wearing mascara. If you didn't know. Okay. How's it looking? Pink brows, orange and pink. And just a normal drag look. Okay, missed a lot of stuff. Terra Australis is about an alien invasion of Australia. I am a cover still. Well, you know me. I pick books based on their cover, so. Terra Nullius. Well, I mean, that's the whole point about covers, is to grab you, and just like thumbnails for videos. About the force, yeah, she had a public meltdown on social media. And it was 4.5 stars. I like Elliot's recent video on booktubers being on some panel or something and how it's not a great idea, celebrity culture, etc. I haven't seen that. Not sure I understand that. Because booktubers do, maybe I'm not understanding what a panel is, but booktubers do collaborations all the time where like 3 or 4 of them get together and chit chat. If I wrote a book, I'd be happy with 4 stars. Mr. Sci-Fi. We got merch made from that though. Nerd on a power trip. Shirts. Marines made a video about it too, and we're both wearing the shirt. Alexa Dunn's video about how Goodreads author accounts work helps explain a little bit about how things. Oh yeah, I did see that one too. Alexa Dunn is a author tuber. I've read 2 of her books, and yeah, she brings an interesting perspective as a traditionally published author. I think things are harder for indie authors just because it's so hard for them to get any sort of recognition. Oh, Lynette would recommend the Coley books. And the first one starts off slowly. That happens a lot to me in science fiction. For example, you can't fully control seeing the rant reviews, but a 4.5, it's definitely not a rant review. But because of how the math works, 5 stars are the only ratings that move the needle. Yeah. Which makes sense, because unless it's a 1 or 2 star, a 4 star isn't going to move things. You know, if your average rating is 2 star, then 4 stars are definitely going to help. But it definitely doesn't bring it closer to a 5 if you're because most books start off, unless it's really bad, as like 4 stars or more. She was talking about authors being on a panel nominating. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to watch her video. Because the Hugo Awards are by, it's sort of a fan award. People who go to the Hugo convention, I forget what it's called, the World Science Fiction Convention or whatever, are the ones who nominate the books. But the Nebula Awards are authors nominating authors. Which kind of, I thought, kind of makes it a little bit more prestigious, because it's your peers nominating you. About YouTubers and who has the most, well, that's always going to be a discussion. I'll have to check it out. Okay, let me put on some black to set this. I say this every week, but I need more brushes, or new brushes. Okay. So I am going to be filming Shelve It or Shove It today, which will probably be released next week. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to release this coming week. I mean, I have that video on lore that it's been sitting around for a while. And I did do a video on, a review video on Gideon and Hera the Ninth. Oh, okay, got to do the under paint. Blue black. In my opinion, Goodreads awards are the awards with the least integrity. Yeah. Yeah. But that's kind of how the Hugo Awards are too. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about Piranesi because I've read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and it was such a huge, and I liked it. But it's not a fast-paced book by any means, and it's kind of literary. But if you like literary fiction and you like fantasy, that it'd be a good book to read. So I wasn't sure what to expect with Piranesi, but I'm told that it's a lot. It's different. It's more of a shorter or faster read than Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Question, film to tag, and I just read each question and answered. It feels a little plain. I like how you edited yours to have the question asked and then you answer. I'm debating if I should. Um, I'm always trying to make my videos interesting because I have this insecurity that I'm not very interesting on my own. But I also like editing, and I like trying new things. And I like the idea of having the people who tag me ask the questions. But it does take a bit of editing. So if you like editing, it does make the video a little bit more interesting. Or you can go like to the original tagger. It's just time consuming. It's just a tag video. How much time do you really want to spend with it? Oh, fit. There's a tag. You can search my videos, but it's a perfect tag for you. It's called the fitness book tag, I think. Which if you want to do another tag, you can say I tagged you with it. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Anything to make things a little different, I think, is a good thing. No, there's nothing general about tags. People can be creative with them. They can just do it straight, so to speak, and just answer the questions. The funnier is always better. The funnier your videos are, the more popular they'll be. I do know that. It's just a popularity contest. Going back to the award thing. Asked by the goddess. But for mine, I don't think I asked any questions. I think I used whoever tagged me. But I like the idea of you asking yourself questions. I started Hell's Moving Castle yesterday and I'm loving it. Already love the movie, but never read the book until now. The book is wonderful. I like it too. And that's an older, the author is a older name, middle grade author, Diana Wynne. Oh my God. Anyway, she wrote Hell's Moving Castle, and it is a bit different than the movie. So if you expect the same thing, if you saw the movie and you expect it to be a close match to the book, it's really not. But I do like her writing. My favorite books of hers are called the Crestomancy series. And if you're into middle grade and fantasy and like Diana, I want to say Wynne Hickston, but I think that's wrong. Paxton. Check out the Crestomancy series. Yeah, the fitness book tag. Diana Wynne Jones, thank you. I don't know where I was going. Got the Diana Wynne part. But yeah, she was a really big, popular middle grade author who I don't think is still active. Okay, one down. dokie. And shoot, where's the brush I set white with? It's that one. Yeah. Sorry, I am quiet. Just trying to concentrate on this. Okay, so now I want to do sort of that under middle color. So maybe I'll do like a bright blue just to be really different. Or purple. I guess purple would make more sense. I'm looking at my background. Okay, let's catch up. Yeah, there are more characters in the book. Wynne Jones, that's it. Yep. Yeah, it's a fun book. I'm thinking of swiping a 2-second clip of the goddess when I mention her on the tag. It makes me laugh too much, though. Please feel free. The storytelling is very classic fairy tale, and the descriptions of the world is so good. Yeah. Just trying to find a brush to put on the undercolor. Oh, this. Stabbed myself in the eye. Okay, now I'm going to try to fade it into the light. And then fade it into the black. Okay, how's that look? I kind of want to put a color here. Do the purple. Decisions. Yeah, see how that looks, just to sort of match the purple on the bottom with the top. Of course, you might not even see this because of the eyelashes. Let's put them on. Gosh, sometimes I do these things and I don't even see them on camera. Okay, how's that look? Okay. I think I like it, and I think I'm going to move on to the lips. So that's catch up. I've been reading much more fantasy since. Oh, I hope that's a good thing. Welcome to the magic side. Well, thank you, Cappuccino. Thank you, Lynette. Okay. Oh, have I mentioned today how much I dislike doing lips? You'd think that's the easiest part. Maybe I'll do a purple lip. It's not purple. I thought I had a purple lip. What color is this? Let's try this color, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's kind of drying out. don't know about this lipstick. It's really dried out. Well, let me try. Okay, I think it's time to throw away that lipstick. But wait a sec. Let me try this one. Little bit of white. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okie dokie. My stomach is growling because I didn't eat breakfast today, and I hope you guys can't hear it. Oh, I should have done this before the lipstick. Oh well. It's blush back on. Let's see. I might have to try to tone this down a little bit. I think we're done. I think we are done. Okay, let's see what we have here. My bag of tricks. Earrings. I thought this would be like a hippie look with this top, this necklace. And I have the original Booktube Goddess wig. How am I looking? Gloves. Again, the gloves are because I am not shaving my arms for Booktube. I still want the illusion. And how about a ring? Oops, how about a red ring? Okay, guys, this is the final look. Okay. Can you see it? There. Oh! Eyelashes. Of course, there's always one thing I forget. And this could be the most important part. Because eyelashes definitely do change the entire vibe and look. And of course, I dropped them on the floor. Okay. Probably shouldn't put them on with a wig, but we're living dangerously. I feel like I should have like Mission Impossible music going on in the back. See, with eyelash, without, without. God, my stomach's really growling. Okay, that's better. Well, this is the first time I've ever tried pink eyebrows. Of course, I won't know how things finally look until I see it in Photoshop or in the editor. Yep. Okay, guys, this is the now it's the final look. Okay, Cappuccino's finally reminding me for the eyelashes. Hope you have a good bunch, but now you have the lipstick on, so lunch will probably have to wait. Or I could just put lipstick back on after lunch. Blue Black says, looks very nice. I'm so glad you guys are reminding me. Fantastic. All about the illusion, yes. And the eyelashes make a difference. Very lovely. Okay, well, thank you guys very much for stopping in once again for this Get Ready With Me for this fantastic drag look. And I'm going to try to be here next Saturday if you want to join again. And until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.